We stand firm and rise. For this truth, we put our lives on the line. We're prepared for war, fearing no confrontation. We hit the highways and byways to wake up the whole nation. We teach His word, we teach His will, we teach His truth. Don't matter how you feel. We teach His word, we teach His will. You gon' hear this first. Now tell me how you feel.
MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, I'm from Manessa, straight out of Cuba, killing crackers every day. Hallelujah, one nation under the Lion of Judah. I got a 12-gauge Mossberg cracker shooter. Run up on the Greeks with swords strapped to me. My faculty ready to kill like the Maccabee. For my God, nigga, I will die happily. With you 2/3 in a lake of fire like the crackers be. Live in the hood, but when it's race riots, the realest gangsters gon' tuck his tail and stay quiet. Fuck cops, got the right to remain violent. We skinheads ain't shit but some gay pirates. God is a man of war, not what you've been teaching. We gon' ruin heathens with swords pursuing demons. If you think the white man gon' ruin heaven, you is dreaming. And for the record, a Caucasoid ain't a human being.
You know who we be, we them Israelites, preaching the word, hoping that they come to the light. One nation, under YAHAWAH, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI.
All right. Shalom, shalom. All praise and glory to YAHAWAH, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. All right, what's going on now? Why are you acting crazy? All right, shalom, shalom. All praise and glory to the Most High, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Just going to do a quick overview of our feast day that we are entering in today, which is called the Day of Judas Maccabees, or the Day of Nicanor, Israel's enemy during the Hellenistic period, okay, when our people was rising up against the tyranny of the Greek Empire, which was biblical prophecy in the book of Daniel. I believe it's the 9th chapter, 8th and 9th chapter, concerning the he-goat, which was Alexander the Greek, coming into power, okay, to subdue the nation of Israel and all of the known world at that particular time. So if you guys learned anything from Hanukkah, then you understood the history of the Greeks coming into power. First Maccabees, first chapter, how they conquered our people, and our people converted over to Greek customs and ideology and philosophies, and changed their names, and and just denounced being a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, as we see today in modern Babylon. Okay, so the history is great, is very touching, is sad, but it was victorious because the Most High never just left us out there to hang to dry in totality. So what I'm going to do is review the Day of Nicanor, which is actually the Day of Judas Maccabees, our great forefathers of the tribe of Levi, of the house of Aaron, okay, which was of the high priest lineage. You see what I'm saying? That these brothers stood up and in captivity, right? For all you captivity excuselites out there. You see what I'm saying? We was in captivity when these brothers rose up, and the Spirit of the Most High was with them because they stood on the law of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Right? So you people out there that makes these excuses and continue to walk in fear, the scripture tell you in 2 Timothy's 1, that the Most High have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power. You see what I'm saying? Knowledge is power. That's the a famous phrase, right? And what knowledge is greater than our knowledge? In Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. You see what I'm saying? The Most High said, I have taught you this day laws, statutes, commandments. For this is thy wisdom in sight of the nations, that should say, surely this is a wise and understanding people, right? So the knowledge of the Most High is what exalts you, okay? The wisdom of the Most High, the scripture tells you, wisdom of Solomon, I believe the 2nd chapter, bring us to a kingdom. You see what I'm saying? So don't let nobody discourage your faith and humility in YAHAWAH, SHAM, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. You're doing what you're called to do. You see what I'm saying? For those of you that are sincere and really grabbing hold of this knowledge, you see what I'm saying, and executing the talents the Most High gave. Because when YAHAWASHI returned, he said he's gonna reap the talents that he gave. I think that's in Matthew the 25th chapter. So those of you that want to be, part-time Israelites, or internet only copy paste lights, you see what I'm saying? Not saying that you won't affect anyone, okay? But the Most High says, enter ye out in the highways and byways. I mean, you have to put some work in. I mean, even when you go to the Most High's army, I'm Slaki, I'm going off. When you go to the heathen army, you got to go to boot camp, man. You see what I'm saying? Right? You got to go to boot camp. You just, a lot of you just want to be officers automatically. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to go through the scriptures right quick because I don't have that long, because I'll be linking up with the brothers in a few to do the feast. Okay, tomorrow and Wednesday is Purim. Purim is 2 days. So actually we have a 3-day feast. Okay, right before Passover. You understand that? So if Jeremiah's out there, man, holla at your boy, get on, let's rock out together. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull up the script. Okay, let me get this thing together here. Let me share my screen. And we're going to take it from there. All praise and glory to the Most High. Right? So what I'm going to do is just read. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of edifying because for time's sake, a lot of you guys could actually, read these things on your own. But I'm going to take the time to edify the people, to the best of my ability. You know what I'm saying? So let me turn this down. Okay. So okay, we good. All right. So this is the first book of Maccabees. When you read in the Apocrypha, it's written in your King James 1611 Bible. If anybody got original King James 1611 Bible, I have it upstairs. The Apocrypha is in it. If you got a Septuagint, it's in the Septuagint and Greek Septuagint. So Apocrypha means hidden books. So they took records out of our text and tried to separate the information to try to hide, like Psalms the 83rd chapter, we being the hidden ones. You see what I'm saying? Colossians 1:26, even the mystery which have been hid from age for generations are now made manifest to the saints. We are the saints. The Israelites are the saints, right? So we are able to put these stories and the missing links together to actually find out our history, that we are, as a people, black men and black women, so-called black men, black women, Hispanic and Native American, we do have a great history. Okay, and we came from a great stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, and we was named Israel, princes of the power. You know what I'm saying? That we have power with the Most High and over men that have prevailed, right? And a MASHAYACH YAHAWASHI of the world, even called Jesus Christ, is our King of black men. It's coming back to redeem the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and establish them in their kingdom up under him. Okay, his kingdom, but we will be ruling with a MASHAYACH YAHAWASHI, right? Daniel 7:18, Daniel 7:27. So this is a historical record, the first book of Maccabees, as you see. I'm just going to read a couple of trends. I'm going to jump around and we're going to get straight to chapter 2. And it happened after the Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, has smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. And as you can read a lot of the good history of the translation of the Persian and Mede Empire up to Alexander the Great, and how he recognized the prophecy and Daniel's concerning him. All right. And he actually went into the temple. How about that? A lot of people say that book is off. Well, hey, you off. Right? It's a historical record and document, man. There's a lot of meat and potatoes in there. Okay. So and it reads, right? Darius, king of the Persians, means that he reigned in the stead the first over Greece. Right? So when you read Daniel, the 8th chapter, the 9th chapter goes all into that. I'm not going to take a whole bunch of time with that because this is about actually Judas and Maccabees, okay, and Nicanor. All right, so I'm just reading this to set the foundation, right? In the spirit of Colossians 3:17, whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shema Mashiach YAHAWASHI, giving the water, Abanawa YAHAWAH by Shema Mashiach YAHAWASHI. Verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, where he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as was honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. All right. So these are the things that you can actually read in basic regular history. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare ruled everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. You got Ptolemy, the Seleucus dynasty. I think it was the Lachidius dynasty. It's for them. Just look it up, and my memory is shot right now at the moment. I didn't write these 4 generals down, so let's just get to the point. I just want to get to Judas Maccabees for real. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth, right? And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, the son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdoms of the Greeks. So in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have much sorrow. Right? Okay. This is what our people are saying, right? These are Israelites. Right? So verse 12, so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so for it, Darren, that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. Now, there's a scripture in the book of Sirach said, the Lord has not given us a license to sin, but the heathen gave us license to sin. Right? Your leaders, our leaders, so-called leaders, give us license to break the commandments of the Most High, which destroys us as a nation. You black people, Hispanic, Native Americans, you have no power unless you come back to the Most High and establish his laws, statutes, commandments. That's just what it is. You have no power unless you ride and strive and in the law of the Most High, man. That's just what it is. It tells you that in the book of Judas, the 5th chapter, right? All through the Bible, first of all. Okay. So 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathens. Brothers go, talks about these are, like the arenas where they have the boxing matches, football, baseball, basketball. These things are arenas. These are places where people exercise and they flex their muscles, and they, is competition to the death and all these different things, right? So this is a modern way that we have today when you look at your NBA, your MLB, National Football League, all these different things like that, right? MMA, whatever you want to call it. Where that's really going back to that type of, coliseums and things of that nature, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant, right? And forsook the holy covenant, which is what? The law. They was doing this back then, and you Negroes doing it now, perpetrating the fraud, right? Perpetrating the fraud. Ain't that something? Okay. So it also reads and says, and made themselves uncircumcised, forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief, right? So our people are mischievous, they're evil, they're wicked, they're a bunch of sellouts, they're haters of the Most High, they're haters of their own brethren, Deuteronomy 28th chapter, all right? Isaiah 51, the Most High got the fury upon them. You see what I'm saying? They shook, they scared of the heathen, Leviticus 26th chapter. Like, our people are a disgrace, man. They just let out Bobby Shmurda. 2014, he came out with that track. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the beat fire, man. But the man was talking about killing his own people and all type of madness. And he did 6 years, and he out now. And I got blocked on Facebook with my main account because he did a performance in front of one of these record labels. And this being a nigger, Salah, this being a demon, right? Everything is about shooting, killing. And he's in front of all these Europeans, all these Caucasian people, just looking at him and this looking at, yes, we got this Negro back that he's gonna promote more violence and murder of black men upon black men and the seduction of seducing our women to be whores and glorifying whoredom and all this madness, man. This is disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting, man. I'm glad the Most High woke me up. You see what I'm saying? I'm glad the Most High woke us up, man. You know what I mean? Because we was out there like thinking it was all good. And this generation is crazy. I mean, they just out of their mind, straight like that. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is, y'all. In verse 16. And when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. All right. So I must not read that. So I just want to stay on the point where our people forsook the law. So they went to idolatry, right? You know what I'm saying? They broke Shabbat days. You know what I'm saying? Discontinued the feast days, right? Certain named themselves Greek names, all these different things. Now here is a family. We're gonna jump over to chapter 2. This is when it's gonna turn up a bit here, okay? First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter. Are you ready? Let's get ready to ride. Let's get ready to rumble. This is where it's all sweet and good, right? In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons. John, right, called Cadius, right? You could say Joanna, called Cadius. Simon, called Dasis. So here you got 2 different names, right? Which is an English translation of a Hebrew, Yakanah, right? Sha'ol, right? John called Cadius, Simon called Thaddeus, Judas, who was called Maccabees, right? He was called Maccabees, YAHAWAH, right? Eleazar called, I'm sorry, Avaran, right? Sound like Aharon, and Jonathan, right? Whose surname was Appius. So these are Greek names, okay? These are Greek names, right? And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, right? So blasphemies, man, that our people was committing. Treacherous, right? He said, woe is me. Woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy or your friends? Of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. So this is our forefathers crying out in disgust that our nation have succumbed to these people, man. You see what I'm saying? That has no respect for our power and for our law, for our ways, our customs. All right. And this is a priest. Okay. Verse 8. Her temple has become as a man without glory. So look at that. Men should have glory, man. We should be glorious, man. Most I say should make a man more precious than fine gold. Right? That's what the scriptures say. Right? So when we gonna become the golden men that the Most High made us to be? Right? Are we gonna continuously want to be, this be the dim light that we are, man, this world. Shalom, Amiyah, what's going on, sister? How you doing? Glad to see you over here. Share wisdom, grace, and peace. All praise and glory to the Most High, right? You know what I'm saying? Read the book of Lamentation. It talks about how we fell so bad, man. You see what I'm saying? Read the book of Lamentation, right? The Most High has reawakened the mighty men of his flock, man. You see what I'm saying? Most High said, the flock of my pastor are men. And he said he's going to make us as fine gold, even as the fine gold of Ophir in Isaiah 13:12. So what's up? What you going to do? Are you ready? Right? Well, we about to read about some golden men. We're going to read about some men that stood up and ain't make no damn excuses like a lot of you Negroes out there, man. You Hebrews, right? You making all these excuses. Babylon, we in captivity. Every damn thing that disobeyed the law, statute, commandments that the Most High gave us, man. You're a bunch of weaklings, man. You see what I'm saying? You're a disgrace to YAHAWAH, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. I'm going to tell you to your face. How about that? If you're watching this video and you on that, you're a disgrace, man. You're in dishonor, all right, of all the honorable men that stood firm throughout the course of history and throughout the various captivities and honor of the Most High's law, statute, commandments, because you in Babylon the Great is something different now, okay? You see what I'm saying? Because you Negroes ain't really ancient men in spirit at all women in ancient and that spirit, okay? Bunch of reprobates, man, okay? So let's continue. Let's continue. Verse 10. All right. I'm gonna read verse 8 again. Her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels. See, Moses said Israel is a glorious vessel, are carried away into captivity. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because he said gonna make us as fine gold. So we are part of that. Read the book of Lamentation. Right? But they took all of our wealth, our riches, right? Her infants are slain in the streets. They destroyed and murdered our children like they did over in Babylon the Great in America. What are you talking about? We have always been preyed upon because we forsook and forsake the law of the Most High. I mean, I don't see where you people get this, that you could do as thou wilt. Doctrine of Satan. 1 Kings, the 8th chapter. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. And what happened to our young men every day in the streets of Babylon the Great, man? As it was happening back then. There's nothing new under the sun, right? We the people of the book. We the people that fell upon the curse, Daniel's 9th chapter. Same way our men is out here, our young men is crazy. They murdering each other, right? They murdering our women. They hustling, selling drugs. They're a bunch of reprobates. They're materialistic. They're demons, devils, wicked and evil. Okay? But love the enemy. Crazy. Right? It says, what nation have not part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoil? So all you heathens, you on trial. The Bible says you're on trial. Right? Because all you nations have had part in our destruction. That's a fact. All you nation has had part in the destruction of the children of Israel. And you're going to pay. You're going to suffer. You're going to pay for the destruction of the children of Israel. Factuals. That's a fact. Okay? So you can sit there and say, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. Okay? It was you. All right? Psalm the 83rd chapter condemns you. The book of Judges condemns you. Okay? All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she is become a bond slave. Deuteronomy 28, 68. Right? Our woman was Aunt Jemima, or is Aunt Jemima on the pancake box. Right? Big mama. Right? And behold, our sanctuary, and y'all slut our women now, you know, to help. You see what I'm saying? You abuse our women. Right? And now they willingly being abused and accepting anything the so-called European give them. Ghetto gaggies. Man. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste. And the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, the heathen, The other nations have profaned it, right? That's what happened later on in history. They profaned the priesthood with the Herodian dynasty, the Edomites, the heathens, right? But that's another story. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? What's the point of living there? A lot of our people don't even want to live. First, to go through this destruction, and it seemed like there's no end when you're in the midst of it. Right? Our nation has been suffering for thousands of years, man. It's a fact. Right? Then Matthias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore. And in the meanwhile, while the king's office said, and in the meanwhile, while the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city, molded to make them sacrifice. Right? To make them sacrifice. A lot of our people offer themselves up for sacrifice in this country, for material gain, right? For being an NBA player, a football sports entertainer, anything that this system allows you guys to reap financial benefits and become famous and celebrities and stars, you are actually a sacrifice for our people, man. In terms of you being worshipped as a god and as an idol, and to cloud on people's judgment, like this is what life is about. Like you are what we're supposed to be celebrating instead, outside of the Most High. By MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. It's wild, right? So they have multiple sacrifices out here in this country right now, Babylon the Great, as they did back then. Okay, so verse 14 I was in. Well, I'm going to read that again. He said, then Matthias and sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore to the mean, while the king's officers such as compelled the people to revolt, right, came into the city of Modem to make them sacrifice. Okay, to make them sacrifice. Okay, hold on one second, my bad. Oh my goodness, hold on, wait a minute, something's going wrong. Let me get this thing together here. Okay, let me get it together. Salakia. Okay, so okay, let me continue. I thought somebody hit me up right quick. Let me see. No. All right. So it goes in verse 15. And in the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modem to make them sacrifice. Verse 16. And when many of Israel came on to them, many of our people, Matthias also and his sons came together. So they went to see what the hell was going on with these heathens, right? Okay. So they're in captivity. Understand it. Like you are today, like we are today. Then answered the king's officer said to Matthias on this wise, thou art a ruler. Interesting. Isaiah the 3rd chapter. And an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now, therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment. You see that? Right? They try to convert you to be an example for their mischief, to seduce your people into going against the Most High. That's what these leaders are. This is why you have these celebrities and entertainers out here, right? They have sold themselves to Satan for monetary gain. You're getting hundreds of millions of dollars to shoot a basketball, to catch a football, to throw a baseball, right? To put on gloves and beat somebody down, right? Really? Okay, this is what it's all about. Okay, this is what it's all about. So here they're trying to come to our brother Matthias, right? So read verse 18 again. Now, therefore, come thou first. And can you see the writing? Because if you can't see, I make it big. Let me know if it's hard for you to see the writing. If you can't see the read, if you can't read, okay? And then I put the reading bigger, okay? So it says, Now therefore came thou, and now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathens have done. Yea, and the men of Judah also, right? And such as remain at Jerusalem, right? So all the heathen have done, and the men of Judah, right? Also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, right? Of Israelites. You know, you have Israelites that were scattered, right? You have various tribes that were still in the land. You understand that? Okay. In various provinces, right? So that's what he's talking about. Right? So shall thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends. Right? Sound like Esdras, right? Be a cousin of the king. So you want to be friends to the nation that is murdering your own people. You in covenant with them. Right? And of course, you're going to be taken care of because they need somebody to give the people false hope and to convert them to their way of life. Nothing changed. It's still the same game. Right? Verse 18, at the end of verse 18, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold. See that? And many rewards paid off. Right? You good brand. You on a team. We ready to rock and roll with you, baby. Let's get it. You see what I'm saying? This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Yet will I. Oh, I went too far. Verse 19. Then Matthias, or Mattathias, right? Mattathias. I'm saying Matthias because I'm saying Matthias, but it's Mattathias, right? Mattathias answered and spoke with a loud voice. Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers. So you are justified here in saying, yeah, our law, statute, commandment belongs to us. It's our religion. The laws, the statutes, the commandments that gives us instruction on how to live amongst each other, how to govern ourselves as a nation, how to eat, how to celebrate religious feasts, or how holy days and customs, right? How to farm, you know, how to have a moral society, right? Civil society. All these instructions belongs to us. So you want to be justified if somebody try to come at you with that? Well, First Maccabees 2:19, and give consent to his commandment. So we're going to fall away from what we was given, Psalm 78th chapter, and then we're going to follow the law of the land. For the law of the land, Israelites, that's totally against the Most High law, statute, commandments, and our customs. Yet will I and my sons and brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. Hallelujah. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. The 12 patriarchs. Okay? Marshall, and all the men that came through the ranks and through the lines, man. That's our record, man. All right? This belongs to us. Our record. Always been there. It's always been there. Deuteronomy 30th chapter talks about it. It's always been there, right up under your nose. Right? 21. The Most High YAHAWAH forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinance. So you listen to these Negroes out here talking about forget about the law. We ain't got to keep the ordinance. We ain't got to keep no feast days. We don't got to recognize the day of Nicanor or Judas Maccabees or Purim, Passover, Hanukkah, right? Tabernacles, first fruits, Passover, right? Blowing of trumpets, right? Even there's multiple other days, Purim, like we're doing Purim, right? You see what I'm saying? The 4 days that we supposed to come together, the women's supposed to come together and give honor to, I think it's Jetha, your daughter, that was a virgin. We're not doing that. There's many memorial days in the scriptures that we are not even acknowledging and celebrating. How about that? Okay. How about that? So it says, so this is a cut right here for these Negroes out here, right? The Most High forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinance. You think you Negroes is greater than them today? Huh? Because you walking around with some Jordans, some Nikes on, right? You got some damn Edomite clothes on, acting like it's all good. I mean, I wear it too, but you acting like that's what it's all about. Got to go to the club and party, turn up, and do whatever the worldly people doing out there. But you talk about you the chosen of the Most High? Get out of here, Negro. If you want to go do that, then you seduce your own self. Keep yourself seduced. Don't seduce our people, man. We were not hearkening to the king's word. We're not listening to these Negroes. We're not listening to Biden. Okay? Trump is out of here, man. Biden is a worse devil than Trump. I mean, supremely worse. But y'all going to find out because y'all want to vote for damn Biden. Deuteronomy 18th chapter tells you don't put no man over you as king. And you Negroes voting for Biden. When he's trying to destroy you. He's going to finish you. Right? And it says, we were not hearkening to the king's word to go from our religion, right? Our law, our statutes, our commandments, our customs, our traditions, either on the right hand or on the left. So we're going straight down the middle, straight down the line. Don't be hot. Don't be cold. I mean, don't be lukewarm. Slack. Don't be lukewarm. But we're going to go straight down like 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter talks about. Fire on one side and water on the left. Right? Straight gate, narrow. Right? Straight like that. Verse 23. Now he had left speaking these words. Then came one of the Jews. Here go one of the sellout Negroes. All right? The new covenant Bruce. In the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin. Here go this simple one. Right? He done heard a doctrine on Facebook. He done got seduced by the seducer because they sound good in the spirit of Isaiah 9 and 10 or 30 and 10, Salah, right? And all of a sudden now he's already a wretched person anyway going off. He ain't even rooted in the script yet. His foundation is weak, so now he fall, right, for the sorcery because he going off anyway and he know it, so he needs some justification in it. And so here come the devil comes give him a license to sin and he buys it. He eats it, right? You see what I'm saying? That's how this works. Okay, right? So here go the simple Jew, Israelite, Negro, right? Verse 24. Which thing when Matthias, I said Matthias, right? I said it earlier, right? Now I can't say it. Matthias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. That man was, yo, this, neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew upon the altar. So my man was so hot, he was so heated, so neither could he forbear or stop to show his anger according to judgment. So he ran up on that Negro and took him off the planet. Shalom thou. Shalom. See you in the 4th. Out of here. Okay? Right? Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner, he even took that dude out. You want to be the messenger, you out of here. Who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down in captivity under another nation's authority, under another nation's reign. Right? See, that's what America fears, that you young men going to rise up and finally make a decision to fight. See? Right? That's a fact. See? I'm getting up there now, right? I'm not the young lion no more. But I ain't the old lion that's just crouching down and like giving up and all right, you know, it's all good. You know, I'm getting my perks. Nah. I'm going to bring forth the wisdom of the Most High. The old man is wisdom, young man is strength. You see what I'm saying? right? Okay. Also, the king's commission in verse 25, he compelled them to sacrifice. He killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dwelt he zealously for the law of the Most High. Huh? You niggas speaking against the law, it's dangerous for law. Right? Like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Shalom. Right? So this going back in the wilderness, you know what I'm saying? Going back how these men were trying to talk about go back to Egypt and let's just accept the slavery and what was happening, you know what I'm saying, prior to us coming into the wilderness. Sellouts, Uncle Tom's. Shout out to Yazar. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law, and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. Huh? So you telling me this man was off? You Nubalites, right? You old dang wicked reprobate new covenant alites. Matthias was off by making these statements and doing what he did in captivity. Negroes. Huh? Bunch of sellouts, man. Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Sounds like Matthew the 19th. He that forsaketh all and followeth me shall receive 100-fold in the regeneration. Huh? That's what they did. They fled into the mountains. We got a bunch of Negroes out here supposed to be establishing so-called government, don't have anything in place for Israel. Nothing. You see what I'm saying? Are we really truly in the spirit of revolution? Huh? Are we? Are we perpetrating the fraud? That's what I want to know. Hold on one second. I think something's going off. Hold on. Let me see what's going on right quick. All right. Okay, I'm still Gucci. Okay. What's going on, y'all? We need to know. I need to know. Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment. Right? What's wrong with fighting, standing up for justice and judgment? Justice, but there's judgment too. Not there's justice, no peace. Justice, no peace. You know you're not getting no justice, Zechariah 11:5, then you don't bring no judgment. See, Mattathias brought the judgment and left all, 28 again. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they ever had in this city. Then many that sought after justice just went down into the wilderness to dwell there. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because affliction increased sore upon them. So they went to bring judgment on the people that were still there because of what Mattathias and his sons did. So those people said, man, we out. We rolling with these brothers. All praise and glory to the Most High. Let's see if it's a bad decision. All right. Verse 31. Now it was told the king's servant, right? It was told the king's servant, Salah. It was told the king's servant and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, right? That certain men who have broken the king's commandment were going down into the secret places in the wilderness. Now here we got the snitchelites, the sellouts. They're going to go and run to the government, run to the police, and snitch and give up their own brothers. Right? Luke, what? That's Luke 21. That's the book of Matthew. Many shall betray you and give you up over to the officers. Right? A lot of them think they're doing something good. Right? So Read again. Now, when it was told the king's servant and the host that was at Jerusalem, city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were going down to secret places in the wilderness, Salakia. That was Israelites. My bad. They pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Shabbat day. So here in Greece, Salak for the other statement, okay? But prior to that, there was Uncle Tom and sellouts anyway. But here, this was talking about brothers and sisters that decided to stand up for the Most High, right? Broke the king's commandments as well. They went down a secret place in the wilderness, right? And said what? They pursued after them in a great number, and overtaking them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Shabbat day. So hold on. The Greeks knew about the Shabbat day. I wonder if the Shabbat was a lunar Shabbat. I mean, what kind of Shabbat day was it? It got to be what the scripture says. 6 days should you rest, and the 7th day. 6 days you should do all your labor, and the 7th day you should rest. The Shabbat day, day of rest. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hereto suffice, come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye should live. Right? Right? They got their negotiators like the movies. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Shabbat day. So they was keeping the Shabbat day during the Hellenistic period, during the Greek Empire, during being besieged by the enemy, and they was acknowledging the Shabbat. Really? But you Negroes in Babylon, free as a bird, want to go against the Shabbat? Are you serious? 35. So then they gave them the battle with all speed, so they brought the war to them. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they laid hid, but said, let us die in our innocence. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. And this is the conviction that these brothers and sisters had. So they rose up against them in battle on the Shabbat, and they slew them. See that? This man didn't even honor us on our Shabbat day. See? They don't care about killing you on the most sacred day, or your day, your set apart day. They don't give a damn. How about that? Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast their stone, verse 36, at them, nor stopped the places where they laid hid, but said, let us die in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye have put us to death wrongfully. So they arose up against them in battle on the Shabbat, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 people. How about that? So 1,000 people at this point rose up and went against this government, and they went and slew all of them, women and children. Greeks, Europeans, Caucasian, white people. Right? The women and children, who y'all love. Right? I want to love. Yeah, it's crazy. Verse 39. Now, when Mattathias and his friends understood thereof, they mourned for them sore. And one of them said to another, if we do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen. You see that law? It's always there. We're not only going to fight for our lives, but for our laws against the heathen, not for the heathens. They will now quickly root us out of the earth. We ain't even relevant as a nation. Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Shabbat day, when 2 or more gather in my name, there am I also amongst you. Whatever you should bound on earth should be bound in heaven. We will fight against them. Neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. So these brothers like, we ain't going out like that. Sorry. That nigga was talking about the captivity, excuses, lights, all you want, fam. We ain't going for that. We're not laying down those swords. You bring the war, we're going to bring it back. That's just what it is. That's what they're saying. Right? Verse 42. Then came down to him a company of Assadenes, who were mighty men of Israel. So we have the set called the Assyrians. I'll say the Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the Lord. Once again, you guys is pathetic. Also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were stayed unto them. So we had a whole bunch of brothers and sisters and children following. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for succor. Right? So the clean house, you got to start in the house. So you Uncle Tom sellouts that's selling out, compromise for the heathens, right? Trying to convince our people that we not to keep the law of the Most High. You Negroes first got to go. You got to go. You got to go. Like you gotta say, 2/3 got to go. 2/3 got to go. 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3 got to go. You got to go. Uncle Tom and sellouts, they got to go first. When there's revolution, when there's war, it's over for that. Verse 44. Verse 45. Then Mattathias and his friends went around about and pulled down the altars, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel, uncircumcised, those they circumcised vehemently. So hold up, vehemently. So therefore, they was keeping the law of circumcision during captivity, making sure that our children were circumcised, keeping the law that was given to Abraham, our father, in the book of Genesis. So if the laws are done away with, we can have a worm now. We don't have to be circumcised according to your new covenants, the new covenantalites. This is the Greek Empire. This is captivity, Hellenistic period. What is your excuse, Negro? Verse 47. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they went after all these guys that was put in positions proud, like they living it up, like these celebrities, or these so-called affluent people out here of our people think they're untouchable, and they living it up side by side by the heathens. Yeah, when revolution and war comes, man, it's all gonna be gravy. It's all gonna be gravy, right? So they recovered the law. They recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hands of kings. Neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. So what is a sinner? What is sin? Breaking of the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So how you Negroes today talk about we don't gotta keep the law? You're a bunch of damn sinners, right? And you're willfully wanting to sin. Not that you won't go off, but you want to teach people to this purposely sin and forsake the Lord of Most High. You people better understand, man. There's nothing new under the sun, man. The same spirits, man. Scripture says the spirit of the prophet subject to the prophets, man. Right? The same vibrations and the power that the Most High gave the ancient prophets are here today, as well as wicked ass, evil, turncoat ass Hebrews. They all around. You just love them because you one of them. Okay? Verse 49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, right? Train up thy child in the way he should go and should not depart. Right? Sirach, the 30th chapter says about a man when he have a son, right? We have a child, he left an avenger like unto himself. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. So he have his sons following his lead, and he's the one that set it off. But he ain't had to be the one to finish it. Let's see who's going to finish it, right? Through the power of YAHAWAH, SHAM, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Now, when the time drew near, verse 49, First Maccabees 2. Now, when the time drew near that Matthias should die, he said unto his sons, Now have pride and rebuke gotten strength. No, so let me read again. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, his bonds, I have 4. Now have pride and rebuke gotten strength, and a time of destruction, and the wrath of indignation. Right? Right? So now it's time for judgment, baby. Right? All pride gonna be rebuked. Right? You see what I'm saying? And it's time for war. You know what I'm saying? It's time for war, baby. Verse 50. Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the Lord. There you got the zealots. Be you zealous for the Lord. Not, oh, we ain't got to keep the law. We ain't got to announce the law. We ain't captivity be an excuse of life. See, you people be falling for these doctrines, man, because you don't study, you don't read, nor do you have the spirit of the Most High in terms of his might, his judgments, man. See, you want this watered down Hebrew Israelite spirit. It's off, man. This is an off vibration. Christianity, Christian brews floating around here, man. Just floating around here. Just floating around here like it's all good. And it's not all good. It's a shame. It's shameful. It's shameful. Okay? So let's continue. Call to remembrance what acts our father did in their time. That's what we're doing now. Romans 15:4. Things are written aforetime, written for our learning. Right? That's what we're doing. Okay? That's what we're doing. Right? Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. The book of remembrance, Malachi 3:16. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Who want an everlasting name? For standing up for the Most High, for his laws, his statutes, commandments, not being an Uncle Tom cool sellout. Huh? Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation and was imputed unto him for righteousness? When the Most High told him to kill his son, Isaac, right? He had to get rid of his son Ishmael. Now I got to kill my son Isaac, right? Joseph, at the time of distress kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Joseph kept the commandment in the book of Genesis. Before there was a written law, according to thou. You talking about the law of Moses? What law was he keeping? Huh? What law, what commandments was Joseph keeping? Negroes. You're a bunch of pathetic liars, devils, and demons, haters of the Most High. And the Most High gonna deal with you traitors, man. He gonna deal with you traitors, man. Phoenix, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Everlasting priesthood. Right? The priesthood is forever. Even though MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI came to the tribe of Judah. Right? His father being a Judah, his mother being a Levite, said it, yes. King and priest. The Most High made MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI our high priest. But the house of Levi and Aaron is the priesthood forever. Tells you that also in the book of Sirach. I think it's the 44th chapter. Around that area, 44, 45. It says Jesus, right, which is Joseph, was fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. He stood up. Him and Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation and receiving the heritage of the land. They wasn't shook. They wasn't scared. While they was going and moving amongst the Gentiles and the heathens to go proclaim the promise that the Most High gave our forefathers, like we are now. What do you think we doing? We in the wilderness right now. You don't think this is the wilderness either? I'm not saying there's not another wilderness, but we're in the wilderness. We've been in the wilderness. Okay? When the wilderness is in totality fulfilled and finished and done, we could be in rulership with a MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI in the kingdom. Facts. Okay? So here, David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Right? You see what I'm saying? David didn't raise his hand up against Saul when Saul was coming against him. When he had opportunity to kill Saul multiple times. He knew that Saul was an anointed vessel of the Most High, dared not to touch Saul. How many of y'all do the same? How many of y'all will respect the men that the Most High rose up in these days to bring forth his word and stand in bold glory and power, executing the Bible the right way? But we got all these agents and implants and demons and devils amongst us sowing discord. Right? And a bunch of flopolites falling off. Sickening, man. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. You Negroes ain't going to heaven that's talking against the law. You niggas going to hell. That's where you going. You're going straight to hell. 100 miles, matter of fact, 1,000 miles, with gasoline drawers on. Talk about Kwanya Sharala. Flame on, Negro. Speaking against the law of the Most High, seducing our people. Like it's wicked to follow the righteousness of the Most High. You Negroes is off. Facts. He was taken up into heaven for establishing and keeping the law of the Most High. So where are you going? Right? 59. Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, right? The three Hebrew boys, right? By believing, were saved out of the flames, right? Saved out the flames. Why? Because they wouldn't bow down and worship no false god, which is the first commandment. You Negroes with your doctrine trying to seduce me. You keep the right law, the right law, love the most heaven, thy heart and soul, and thy brethren, which is all the law. It's just a summary in those two right there. What do you mean? How do you love your brother? By executing everything in the 10 and all the other laws. How do you love the Most High? By executing the laws. You niggas are so seduced and dumbed down, is ridiculous. Christianity is back in action amongst Israel. It's sad. Right? So these three brothers were saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. Right? They tried to kill him multiple times. He had to stand up multiple times to fight for the Most High. What are you talking about? They told him don't pray in no other name. He said, man, you niggas bugging. I'm praying in the Most High name 3 times like I do every day. How about that? That angel that was walking in the midst of the fire was a Mashiach. It said, the Son of God. All right, right? The son, right? It says the Son of Man or the Son of God, or something like that. And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their what? Trust in him shall be overcome. And his what? Law. Fear not then the words of a sinful man. Right? But he don't believe in the commandments. He don't believe in establishing like law, statute, commandments. The laws is done away with. He nailed it to the cross. Right? It's in our inward parts. Doctrines of Satan. And thus consider ye throughout all the ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Do. S-H-I-T. Shit and worms. Today he should be lifted up, and tomorrow he should not be found. Yeah, you look good today, but tomorrow you could be gone. Because he returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law. So if you're not establishing the law, if you're not keeping the righteousness of the Most High, laws, statutes, and commandments, then you are not a man of the Most High. You are a man of Satan. You're not even considered a man. Well, that's a powerful scripture. One of the scriptures we used to use that can't. Wherefore ye my sons, right? Israel is the sons of the Most High, right? Be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it ye shall obtain glory. So that changed now. This changed now, huh? Because this man stood up for the Most High law, and they did their thing. If you read the Maccabees, and was delivered. How about that? So if you're not fighting and stand up for the Lord, you should receive no glory. You can forget about Romans the 9th chapter. You're not a part of that. It's over for thou. Many, what the scripture says, oh, that's Israel. It's not Israel. There you go. Boom. 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. So he's giving out the duties and the position. Everybody have a different position. So why should I get jealous of another man? Give ear unto him always. He should be a father unto you. So Simon is the father figure after Matthias. That's his position. The counselor, the father, the Abba. As for Judas Maccabees, is what we're celebrating today. Judas Maccabees, the day of Nicanor. Thy time has come. He had been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people. So everybody's not a warrior. You brothers that got the warrior spirit, stand up. 1 Corinthians 12 chapter talks about the positions. Find out your position. The Most High say he'll show you a more excellent one. Okay? Take also unto you all those that observe the law. Observe the law. And avenge ye the wrong of your people in captivity. In the Greek Empire. Recompense fully the heathen. And take heed to the commandments of the law. Boom, you Negroes are through. Let me get a bomb in this joint, man. Let me get a dollar. Can I get one? Serious? Are you people serious? Verse 69. So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers, and he died in the 146th year. And the sons buried him in the sepulchres of his fathers at Moden. And all Israel made great lamentation for him. All praise and glory for that brother, man, that stood up in victory, man, for our people. You see what I'm saying? That's power, man. You know what I mean? That's why it's beautiful to read these things, man, and see the greatness of our forefathers, man. And our people stood for the law of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? When all you Uncle Tom sellouts, you compromise the word for damn worldly gain. You see what I'm saying? Worldly gain, right? You want to be something in this world. You want to have material wealth in the society, man. You see what I'm saying? But you're going to find out, okay? So what we're going to do now is switch a little gears here. Now, we're not switching no gears. We're continuing, right? So we're going to go to First Maccabees, the 7th chapter, right? We're going to read First Maccabees, the 7th chapter, get into a little bit of history. I'll probably end up having to do a part 2 because I only got probably like an hour left, 45 minutes. But just something to tease you, okay? And you guys can do your own, reading. Right? So first Maccabee, the 7th chapter. Let's get it. Okay? Let's get it. Give me 1 second, please. 1 second. Let's get it. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Okay. So here we go. In the 150th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome. So now we talk about the Roman Empire, from the Greek to the Romans. Right? So we in this 150th year. So the time is going down. So obviously some years down, right? Years down from when Alexander first conquered everything, right? Because we was in like the 300th year. Now we down all the way down, reading about in the 150th year. Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome and came up with a few men onto a city of the sea coast and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them onto him. Wherefore, when he knew it, he said, "Let me not see their faces." So his host slew them. Right? So now when Demetrius was set up the throne of his kingdom, so here's the transfer of power. A transfer of power. Okay? Boy, that second Maccabee, boy, that Maccabee's cold cut. Woo! So his host slew them. Then we in verse 5. There came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel. Look at these Negroes. Look at these Negroes. Look at these Hebrews. Having alchemists who was desirous to be high priest for their captain. Wicked, ungodly men. And they accused the people to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends and have driven us out of our own land. They go to Snitchelites. They go to haters. Those that hated against Malcolm, those that hated against Martin Luther King, those that hated against Fred Hampton, and all the leaders. They're always it's always your own people. The haters, the murderers, the killers. They're always your own people. They always. Right? Now, therefore, since some men whom thou trustest, and let him go and see what havoc he had made among us and in the king's land, and let him punish them with all that aid them. All right. So these wicked Israelites went to the king, speaking against their own brother. Scripture tell you, you shall have no king over you that is not of your own brethren. So these people are not brethren, right? So now you're like, listen, so now therefore send some men. So send some spies. And let's see what's going on, basically. Then the king chose Bacchides, sorry if I'm not saying it correctly. Bacchides, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the flood and was a great man in the kingdom and faithful to the king. Right? Okay, verse 9. And he sent with that wicked alchemist whom he had made high priest. Look at this. Right? And commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. So they departed and came with a great power to the land of Judea, where they sent messages to Judas and his brother with peaceable words, deceitfully. You see these peaceable words? Your Al Sharp tongues and Jesse jackasses and whoever else come with this peaceable tongue, peaceable words, but they're deceitful, they're devils, they're wicked, they're evil, soft words. But they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with great power. So let's see the deceitfulness. Let's see the setup. Then did there assemble unto alchemists and Maccabes a company of scribes to require justice. Verse 13. Now the Syrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them. So here these guys all of a sudden going to sell out. They're going to compromise now. They giving up the ghost. Earlier, they was about this life. They was all about it. Now they selling out. For said they, one that is a priest of among the children of Israel that sought peace of them. Right? So he said, well, one of our owners is asking us for peace. For said they, one that is high priest of the seed of Aaron. You can't be a high priest unless you came through the seed of Aaron. First and foremost. For they say, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with this army, and he would do us no wrong. So like, how are you a priest and you come with a whole army? Right? But anyway. So he spoke unto them peaceably and swore and made a vow and an oath that's going off unto them, saying, we will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends. So you're gonna be good. We gonna make sure you and your people straight. Right? We're gonna give you 501c3s, we're gonna give you government grants, we're gonna give you money to make garments, and we're gonna exhort a vow, we're gonna hook you up. Y'all gonna be the next big thing. The big just tell everybody to take the vaccine. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Right? So it says in verse 16, wherefore they believed him. See how they send your own people? See, they're showing you the art of war. See, they use your own people against you to destroy you. They don't have to do it themselves. They sit back in the cut like they're innocent and blame you. Like you Negroes out here killing each other. They said, we ain't killing you, killing yourself. And guess what? They're right. Wherefore they believe him, howbeit he took of them 60, which is 60 men. Howbeit he took of them 60 men and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote. So, wherefore they believed him. They believed this guy. They went and followed this guy. And then what happened? He killed 60 of their damn behinds and slew them in one day. See what happened when you want to sell out, compromise instead of staying in that warlike spirit? See what happens? Dog food. The flesh of thy saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed round about Jerusalem. Who's the saints? Israelites. And there was none to bury them. Wherefore the fear and dread of them fell upon all people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them, for they have broken the covenant and oath that they made. So speaking of the priesthood, that these priests have broken the commandments and sided with the enemy. That's why the book of Malachi went in on the priests. And that's how the priesthood was compromised later on. You see what I'm saying? And that's why MASHAYACH YAHAWASHI had to take hold of the priesthood until it's reestablished in the kingdom of the Most High, and Aaron and Levi is put back in their order, as well as the king line. How about that? Verse 19. After this, remove Maccabee from Jerusalem and pitch his tents in Bezeth, where he sent and took many of the men who had forsaken him, and certain of the people also. and we have slain them, he cast them into the great pit. So let me read this again. And after this, removed Bacchases from Jerusalem, pitches tent in Bezith, where he sent and took many of the men that forsaken him, and certain of the people also we have slain. He killed some people that didn't want to follow him, right? And then committed he to the country of alchemists, and left with him a power to aid him. So Bacchases went to the king. So here these guys just selling out, killing their own people. You know what I'm saying? Siding with the enemy. Same thing today. But alchemists contended for the high priesthood, and unto him resorted all such as troubled the people, who, after they have gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel. Now, when Judas saw all the mischief that alchemists and his company have done among the Israelites, so there's no such thing as Israelites, the Israelites, even above the heathen. Our own people was oppressing their own people, destroying, murdering, killing their own people, siding with the heathen, the Greeks, and the other nations. That's what the Bible tells you in the book of Jeremiah. People became more wicked than the wicked. How about that? Now, here's the beginning of Judas being mentioned in this chapter, and Nicanor. Right? So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words. See that? See how the devil come? Friendly words. See? And you love it, so the Bible says. Saying, let there be no more battle between me and you. I will come with a few men, that I may see you in peace and shalom. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Howbeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence. See that? Like in the movies, man. Let's meet up. Come along. Don't bring no weapons. I come in peace. Setup game. Trying to set you up to wet you up. Right? So, where we at? Verse 30. Which thing, after it was known to Judas, he was like, so Judas had some spies. He's like, this dude, he playing games. He don't know who he playing with. That he came onto him with deceit. So, which thing once Judas found out, he was like, yo, let me holler at you. So with that, he came on him with deceit. He was so afraid of him and would see his face no more. Right? So now Nicanor was shook. Right? Because you know Judas was a mighty man. You playing games, fam. Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas besides her Salama. Or maybe it was Judas that was shook right there for a second, if I'm misreading it. Which thing after it was known to Judas to wit that he came unto him with deceit, that he was so afraid of it would see his face no more. So now Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas besides Hasalama, right? Where there was slain of Nicanor's side, about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. So obviously Judah wasn't afraid because them niggas took them out. 5,000 men out of here, gone. Bodies rotten, stinking, chopped up, arms, head, blood, guts, tears, eyeballs rolling on the floor, everything. Hawk Shachabwan shemashed. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Okay? That's what's going on. Hold on 1 second. That's what's going on. Right? Judgment. Judgment is going on. You see what I'm saying? Judgment is being executed. Okay? So let me finish reading. Judgment. Oh, praise God to the Most High. Oh, praise God to the Most High. Let me go right here. Okay. So where we at? Verse 33. So 5,000 men and the rest fled into the city of David. So where the slain of Nicanor side, about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. Right? After this went Nicanor up to Mount Zion. And there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably. Here go these other coons of our nation. Right? And to show him the burnt sacrifice that was offered for the king. So they offering sacrifice to the king? Thought the priests are supposed to offer sacrifices up to the Most High, but all to this damn heathen. How off are you? That's why the Most High wrecked y'all in Malachi, right? But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spoke proudly. So this heathen is looking at you, Uncle Ben's, and stepping fetchings, okay? And laughing at y'all. And that's the same way the European do today. He laugh at you. Right? Because he's a man of war. The scripture tell you he bear the sword not in vain. Right? Period. Point blank. Say what you want to say. So-called Europeans are man of war. Facts. He bear not the sword in vain. He is the sword of the Most High. Right? His blessing was given. By the sword shall thou live. So you're looking at these damn coons and sellers like, man, y'all jokes. You see what I'm saying? He know who's the real tyrant here, Judas. And slew 5,000 of my men. Y'all want to offer me some sacrifices and all that? Hold on. But he mocked them, verse 34, and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spake proudly. And swore in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his host be now delivered into my hands, Negro, if I come again in safety, if ever I come again in safety, I will burn up this house. And with that, he went out in great rage. He didn't give a damn about your little burnt orphans, nothing. He said, listen, when I get back here, fam, it's a Reynolds for thou, the hater of Israel. Right? So when he thought he was being slick and low with Judas, Judas got wind of what it was, you know what I'm saying? And destroyed them, embarrassed them. How about that? Okay? So now, 36. Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, now you want to weep and cry to the Most High when you don't compromise us as a nation in the Most High law, statute, commandments, you're siding against your own people and killing and murdering, destroying your own? Man, our people is something else. These people something else. Verse 37. And it reads, thou, O YAHAWAH, didst choose this house to be called by thy name. How you gonna sit there and say all this madness, all this evil you doing? And to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. Be avenged of this man and his host. And let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies and suffer them not to continue any longer. This is what they're petitioning to the Father. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tent in Beth Horon, when the host out of Syria met him. And Judas pitched in Edessa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, singing. Right? So I'm going to stop here because I have to read elsewhere, if I'm not mistaken here. And this is going to be the conclusion of the matter. We don't want to conclude yet. So we're going to read more about Nicanor, right? So I should have held up right here with this chapter. And let me see. Let me go. So this is about to be his end. Okay. All right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, so there's 648. There is various chapters that you must read to get the full understanding because it's written in and you gotta put the story in line. I shouldn't have I should start in certain places so we lead up to the full story of what Nicanor was going down with Nicanor. Okay, so let's go. Let me see, right? Give me 1 second. Not there. Not there. Not there. Okay, so not there. Okay, so I'm gonna go to start with Second Maccabees, the 8th chapter. Let me go to the 8th chapter here right quick. Okay, let me go to the 8th chapter. Okay. All right. So let me read this right quick. Let me go here. I'm gonna have to go through some of my old notes and make sure I put the story all the way in full, in the proper timeline. But that's fine. The 9th chapter, the 14th chapter, 12th chapter goes into Nicanor 78. Second Maccabees 8. Then Judas Maccabees and they that were with him were privately into the towns, and called their kinfolks together and took unto them all such as continue in the Jews' what? Religion. Going back to what was being said when we was reading First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter. And they called upon YAHAWAH that he would look upon the people that was trodden down of all, and also pity the temple profaned of the ungodly men, and that he would have compassion upon the city, sore defaced and ready to be made even with the ground, and heard the blood that cried unto him. And remember the wicked slaughter of harmless infants, harmless babies that killed our babies, and the blasphemies committed against his name. And he would show his hatred against the wicked. Now, when Maccabees had his company about him, he could not be withstood by the heathen. So the Most High empowered this brother, man, in captivity. For the wrath of Yahweh was turned into mercy, right? Therefore, he came at unawares and burnt up towns and cities and so he's using guerrilla war tactics and got into his hands the most commodious places and overcame and put to flight no small number of his enemies, but especially took the advantage of the night for such private attempts, and so much that the fruit of his holiness was spread everywhere. So he's using guerrilla tactics, man. You know, like the SEALs. You know what I'm saying? Espionage. I'm saying it wrong. Espionage. I mean, with all type of things that this man was doing. So all right, my bad. Okay. Especially took he advantage of the night for such privately attempts, so much that the fruit of the holy was spread everywhere. So when Philip saw that this man increased by little and little, and that things prospered with him still more and more, he wrote unto Ptolemy, the governor of Sierra, and hence and Phoenice to yield more aid to the king's affairs. Okay. Then forthwith choosing Nicanor. So this is where we should have started off here. My bad. Okay. And then forthwith choosing Nicanor, the son of Patroclus, one of his special friends, he sent him with no fewer than 20,000 of all nations under him to root out the whole generation of the Jews. And with him, he joined also Gorgias, a captain who in matters of war had great experience. Wow. All right. So Nicanor undertook to make so much money of the captive Jews as should be frayed a tribute of 2,000 talents which the king was to pay to the Romans. Wherefore immediately he sent to the cities upon the seacoast proclaiming a sale of the captive Jews who was being sold in, yes, and promising that they shall have 80 or 80 and 10 bodies, 90 bodies for 1 talent, not expecting the vengeance that was to follow upon them from the almighty power. Okay, so there's a reckoning, there's a judgment. Now, when the word was brought on to Judas of Nicanor's coming, and he was imparted unto those that were with him, that the army was at hand, they that were fearful and distrusted the justice of the Most High fled and conveyed themselves away. So cats broke out. They did. Shook ones. They did the Harlem. Others sold all that they had left and went to besought the Lord to deliver them. Sold by the wicked Nicanor before they met together. And not for their own sakes, yet for the covenants he had made with their fathers, and for his holy and glorious name's sake, by which they was called. So Maccabees called his men together unto the number of 6,000. He had 6,000 men, and exhorted them not to be stricken with terror of the enemy, nor to fear the great multitude of the heathen who came wrongly against them, but to fight manfully. 6,000 men went to war. You cats act like you need 1 million. They had 6,000. Backed by the power of the Most High. And to set before their eyes the injury that they had unjustly done to the holy place in the cruel handling of the city, whereof they made a mockery, and also taking away of the government of their forefathers. Right? So we had a government of our forefathers. As brothers try to establish a government here, but you have to be righteous to establish a government. Humble. And they said, for they said he trust in their weapons and boldness, the white man, the heathens. But our confidence is in the Almighty, who at a beck can cast down both them that come against us and also all the world. Powerful. Powerful. How about that? Listen to that proclamation to incite, man, the hearts, blood flowing, man, through these young men. Right? Moreover, he recounted unto them what helps their forefathers have found and how they were delivered when Sennacherib, I can't even say the name, going on. And 185,000 perished. Right? And he told them of the battle that they had in Babylon with the Galatians. How they came but 8,000 in all to the business. Cast his hand on business. With 4,000 Macedonians. And that the Macedonians being perplexed, the 8,000 destroyed and 120,000 because of the help that they had from heaven. And so received a great booty. Can you imagine 8,000 men destroying, killing, butchering, maiming 120,000? 120,000. You see why they don't want us to tap into the Most High? 21. That's when he had made them bold with these words and ready to die for the law. For the law and the country. He divided his army into 4 parts. Right? 4 parts. Right? So what he had? 6,000, right? So 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. And joined with himself his own brethren, leaders of each band, right? To wit, Simon and Joseph and Jonathan, giving each 1,500 men, right? As he appointed Eleazar to read the holy book. And when he had given them this watchword, the help of the Most High himself leading the first band. And by the help of the Almighty, they slew, with the help of the Almighty, they slew about 9,000 of their enemies. 1,500 killed 9,000. And wounded and maimed the most part of Nicanor's hosts. How about that? Okay. And so put all to flight. Right? So 24 said, by the help of the Almighty, they slew above 9,000 of their enemies and wounded and maimed the most part of Nicanor's host, and so put all to flight and took their money that came to buy them, right? And pursued them far, but lacking time they returned, for it was the day before the Sabbath. Negro in captivity, keeping the Shabbat. Yielding. And therefore they would no longer pursue them. So when they had gathered their armor together and spoiled their enemies, they occupied themselves about the Shabbat, yielding exceeding praise and thanks to our Elohim, our Father, our YAHAWAH, our Redeemer, who have preserved them unto that day, which was the beginning of mercy distilling upon. This was the first battle, the first war against Nicanor. So let's forget about everything he was reading earlier. Not forget about it. Right? And after the Shabbat, when they have given part of the spoils to the main and the widows and orphans and residue, they divided among themselves and their servants. So everybody else got paid before them. Huh? But you leaders, you get paid before everybody else. How does that go? When this was done, they had made a common supplication. They besought the merciful power, Elohim, to be reconciled with his servants forever. Moreover, of those that were with Timotheus and Maccabee, who fought against them, they slew about 20,000 and very easily got high and strongholds and divided among themselves many spoils, more, and made the main orphans, widows, yea, and the aged also equal in spoils with themselves. Look at that. You Negroes ain't doing that today, you so-called leaders. Yeah, right. 31. And when they have gathered their armor together, they laid them up all carefully in convenient places. The remnant of the spoils they brought to Jerusalem. They slew also Philatures, that wicked person who was with Timotheus and had annoyed the Jews many ways. Furthermore, at such time as they kept the feast for the victory in their country, they burnt Colathenes that had set fire upon the holy gates, who had fled into a little house, and so he received a reward meet for his wickedness. All right? So you want to set the gates on fire? Burn, baby, burn. Woo! And for that most ungracious Nicanor, who had bought 1,000 merchants to buy the Jews. They thought they was about to buy some brews. And their ass was through. He was through the help. He was through the help of the YAHAWAH, brought down by them, of whom he had made least account, and put off his glorious apparel, and discharging his company, he came like a fugitive servant through the midland unto Antioch, having very great dishonor, for that his host was destroyed. So Nicanor was hawk, chapter 1, smash. He had to take off his glorious apparel and flee and run and hide and disguise himself and dishonor, like he was going to come do something. Yeah, right. He ain't do a damn thing, but got destroyed. All praise and glory to YAHAWAH, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Right? Thus, he that took upon him to make good to the Romans. He thought he was going to be the next best thing. See, and this is the Romans right here. See that? This is Romans. This is Romans. So we earlier the game was the Greeks and going into the Romans. Okay? So Matthias must was rocking for a minute. But anyway, I'm gonna do a part 2 on this. By means of thus he that took upon him to make good to the Romans their tribute by means of captives in Jerusalem, told abroad that the Jews had YAHAWAH to fight for them. So he ran to the Romans and told them, thus he that took upon him to make good to the Romans their tribute by means of captives in Jerusalem, told abroad that the Jews had gone to fight for them, and therefore they could not be hurt because they followed the laws that he gave them. I'm going to end it right here. I hope this is enough for you guys right now. You can go read the 9th chapter, 12th chapter, read the 14th chapter, then you concluded 7th chapter part. Okay, so I believe you will begin the Maccabees, the 8th chapter. Okay, and then you should be able to jump up the 7th chapter should be the last chapter of the story. Okay, I believe you probably be going over to there's the 9th chapter. I think there's a few verses. 9th chapter, 8th chapter, the 12th chapter, and the 14th chapter. Okay, so I mean, I know how I'll go. This will be a 3-4 hour class easily, but I'm about to go celebrate the day of Judas Maccabees. So I'll come back and do another part to this. All right, but I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of information that was going down today. All praise the Lord to the Most High. And the key things we kept hearing over and over again is the law, the law, the law, the law. So if the Most High redeemed our brothers and sisters for standing against their enemies in reference and reverence of the law, who anybody in 2021 to speak against the law but a devil that the Bible speaks of? So I don't know what else to say right now. I'm about to go celebrate, enjoy myself with the brothers and sisters, man. And so all you guys that's hate on the Lord, praise the glory to the Most High, because these niggas are saying not to keep the law. You know what they're doing?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
You need to stop lying. Okay? So those of you that see this broadcast, all praise the Most High. We ask you our channel. Like, subscribe, share, so I can continue to do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do regardless. But you know what I'm saying. But support the channel and enjoy the day. Judas, Maccabees, Nicanor, and Purim. So I'll be going through this during the Purim and all that stuff like that. I put up some classes about Esther. I just felt like just going over this right quick, man. I got the class up of Nicanor on the Army of Israel channel. Y'all can check it out. And Esther. Okay. So all praise go to the Most High. It's your brother Mara called YAHAWAH. I'm about to get myself together, get up out of here, man. So y'all be good.
MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Yeah.
I'm from Manasseh, straight out of Cuba. Killing crackers every day. Hallelujah. One nation under the Lion of Judah. I got a 12-gauge Mossberg cracker shooter. Run up on the Greeks with swords strapped to me. My faculty ready to kill like the Maccabees. For my God, nigga, I will die happily. With you 2/3 in a lake of fire like the crackers be. It's live in the hood, but when it's race riots, the realest gangsters gon' tuck and tell and stay quiet. Fuck cops, got the right to remain violent. You skinheads ain't shit but some gay pirates. God is a man of war, not what you've been teaching. We gon' ruin heathens with swords pursuing demons. If you think the white man gon' ruin heaven, you is dreaming. And for the record, a Caucasoid ain't a human being.
You know who we be. We them Israelites, preaching the word, hoping that they come to the light. One nation under YAHAWAH. Bahashim, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI.